Hello, everybody. Right now, I'm doing a little bit of a victory lap, but at the same time frame, we got some serious business dealing with these stupid liberals that keep trying to sabotage the Merle Rutledge campaign, which hasn't worked one bit. Once again, I'd like to first say, God is good all the time. And I have no problem saying it because that's exactly the way it is, especially when you're dealing with the evil Democratic death squad. Now, first, let me get to the point here because I had to spend the last hour on the DMV chewing them liberals out that was doing the governor's dirty work. I get a text saying my license is suspended to drive, to campaign, to move around, to do what I have to do to handle business. So I give a call to those stupid liberals because I know this is Governor Northam written all over it. So while I'm on the phone, they try to give me every little in and out about what they can't do. Then once they see the paperwork and proof, because I like to hear them talk and talk, because I like to know how I'm going to shut them down and not do it easily. Because sometimes you got to make sure people know not to mess with you. That's the way you get the job done, the hard way. That's how I ran my campaign, the hard way. Well, through all that blase, then once I provided proof, then all of a sudden it's somebody in the background talking to whoever the girl is on the phone saying, clear his license, clear his license. I know what that means. That means you screwed up. You knew Northam tried to screw me over. And then you found out you was messing with the wrong one. And that's just the way it is. Now, look at this, people. Why in the blue hell would my license be suspended with a COVID? Number two, why in the blue hell is my license suspended at all? So I made sure I kept up with my paperwork and everything because I always know these liberals is up to something. Always up to something. So you got to be on your P's and Q's as a candidate to make sure that business is handled properly and addressed swiftly. So after all that jawing and they cleared my license saying we made a mistake. No, you didn't make a mistake. You were doing the liberals' business. That's exactly what happened. You knew you was wrong. You knew exactly who put you up to this crap and saying, hey, it's a mistake. Another agency didn't do what they were supposed to do. I don't really care what agency it is. You connected to that Virginia governor, and that's just something I can't deal with. So, regardless of the situation, Merle Rutledge get to drive wherever he wants to. But the fact of the matter is to know that these liberals is doing stupid crap. Why are you concentrating on Merle Rutledge? Because Merle Rutledge is kicking your ass all across the state. And everybody's listening and paying attention. The new one. The grassroots. The candidate that comes from the dinner table and doesn't care who's in the boardroom. Now, after my victory lap, I decided to smoke myself a nice cigar because I had to let that DMV troll hear it. So now, after receiving my letter to say, hey, your license cleared, we made a mistake, we don't know what happened. I know what happened. I know exactly what happened. You had a stupid Northam trying to tell all his peoples and all his flunkies, trying to find dirt on Merle Rutledge, make his life hell. And guess what? When you're the devil, guess who has my back? God has my back. And guess what? He said it straight. Now, yesterday, let me get to the point of this Facebook Live because everybody knows I was pissed off yesterday after watching the Netflix might as well call it WACOs, but WACO. Now, come to find out, there's two sides to a story. But I know the liberal media and how they twist things up for Democrats' favors. And they'll go ahead and tear down the most innocent person and make them look like the devil incarnate. Cult leader. Somebody who loves God is somebody who's a problem for the Democratic Party. So they tear them down. They ripped them to shreds to cover up their BS, just like they did Northam in North Carolina on his beach trips. There's no proof that that SOB was not in North Carolina. The only thing they did was call his office, and once they got caught, they released a quick statement. And all of a sudden, you see the Democratic trolls all over the place, Facebook and all over, trying to cover up his mess. I said exactly, I'm going to get to the bottom of that. I don't give a damn if Amanda Chase is trying to clear him, regardless of the situation. Until I'm done with my investigation, that son of a bitch, Northam, was in North Carolina at the beach having fun, while every Virginia citizen is here, can't go to the beach, and trying to figure out how they going to survive. That's that career politician favoritism, that blue magic, that cover up, that liberal landslide of BS. That's just what it is. And they've been doing it for so long, to the point they have thought they have gotten perfect, until they met somebody like me who can expose, that's going to go the hard way, get down and dirty, and make sure them sons of bitches get exactly what they deserve. Because I ain't through with the DMV after today. Trust me. They are going to catch more hell no matter how much they straighten it out. Now, back to WACO. Back to Bill Clinton. Back to Hillary Clinton and Janet Reno and the Democratic Party. What I saw was deplorable, disgusting, nasty, gut-wrenching. It shows how spineless these cowards are. And I said exactly, we can't deal with any more corrupt politicians like this. We can't deal with any more Democrats that's like this. All they did was go on steroids since WACO. That's all of that has happened. Steroids. And everybody is shooting up in the swamp. Now, after seeing both sides of the story, I believe what Netflix put out there is as true as it gets. Because I know that's how they act. They will kill, destroy, and suppress and oppress anybody who goes against the Democratic Party. And the first thing I want to tell the Democratic Party from the bottom of my heart, y'all can go fuck yourselves. When you see babies, women, children, and more die in the fire, and know they got the authority to do what they did from the White House that Bill Clinton controlled, authorized, to know babies was inside WACO compound, and the stormtroopers that they sent up in there killed all of those people. This was abortion, people, of not only living. Trust me, they mean exactly what they say. And they've been doing it for a long time. We just now seeing them being proud about it. And I said, what kind of monster, what kind of president, what kind of attorney general will authorize what I saw on that film? And I watched the original and say there are kids inside that building, there are babies inside that building, and burn that bitch straight on down. That's exactly what the Democrats did on American soul. And I don't know how in the blue hell Republicans, that son of a bitch should be charged with murder to this damn day. So should Janet Reno, so should anybody who was involved in that crap. To attack children of God and to do something that monstrous and vile. Now you see why I don't use the soft language with them, because I know their tactics. This is nothing but their playbook over and over again. Republicans was impeaching him over getting some head. And they should have been charging that son of a bitch with murder for killing all them children instead. But instead, people was covering it up from the police to the ATFs to the FBI to all of them under the Democratic power-hungry leadership. I don't care if you're Democrat, Independent, or Republican. The fact is, seeing that pieces of crap do what they did, to know how they suffered, to know all the tactics, treating them like they was in another country. All they was doing was minding their damn business. Now, whether Dave Koresh was a pedophile, whatever the fuck it may be, you can't tell me that was justice burning down that building with them kids and that those women and more in there as a way to handle your problems. It lets you know when government overreaches how far they will go to suppress free speech, religion, as well as take out all the witnesses. Now, this don't surprise me because I've been used to uncovering every false story that I decided to look into. And trust me, there's always somebody saying there's more devil in the details. But to know this happened, to know that justice has not been served, there's nobody who can justify the actions that happened out there in Waco, Texas. But Waco, Texas is just a prime example of how secretly that they are trying to do the same genocide across this country. All to take out President Trump and the Republican Party because we are the party of common sense and morals and values. But if you're saying that killing kids is justice, that's part of the plan. Knowing if anybody came to me and said that there are women and kids in the building, this is a place considered worship where people are left alone. And to know that I would authorize such a grievous attack on civil liberties, on my own citizens, on American soil, common sense then ring out that this shouldn't have been done. Now, over 70 dead people later in Waco, over millions of aborted babies across this country that did not have a chance at life because it was taken away by those who preyed on the most vulnerable. There's no excuse for why this has not been addressed the way it needs to be. I still look at somebody who has no statute of limitations on murder. And what happened in Texas definitely needs to be a reinvestigation because realistically, Janet Reno, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and the rest of them SOBs should be right there at the defense table on trial for genocide. I haven't been this pissed off. My blood hasn't been this boiling in quite some time. And trust me, it has been enough to piss me off on other matters. But this one just hit Merle Rutledge from the sole down to his boots. And they are laced up and want one boot up somebody's ass. But looking at this, like I said, if anybody can be a part of the Democratic Party and know that crap happened, you really have to check yourself and understand why Republicans is all up on your ass when it comes down to how this country is going. We are locked down as American citizens, giving up all of our freedoms and protections and our civil rights and constitutional rights for monsters. Monsters sick on pork barrel projects, high spending, killing off babies, taking God out by any kind of way. And then, to make matters worse, out there having wine and cheese festivals in their mansions, living it up with their guaranteed paychecks while they tell America Let's figure out how we can do socialism through not only our policies, but telling you this is how you universally going to get paid. Emphasizing for people not to believe in hard work, but to get paid for nothing and not understand the value of taking care of not only family, country, and God, but making sure you set the example for your children and the generations that come after. I understand this. I know this because I've been through the fights. I've been through the battles. I've been through the trials and tribulations. That's why God made me in this type of way to send out the message to his people that this country is coming back and we are not taking out anything on behalf of these damn terrorists and devil worshippers. The fire is in me to get this job done one way or the other. But I'm telling Republicans, the GOP, and those with any kind of common sense, this is going to be a fight for our existence. This is a fight for our kids and moving forward. This is a fight against another country buying up America for pennies on the dollar after letting go of this treacherous coronavirus that they have used for political gimmicks. People, they are not worried about your health. They are worried about politics. The patriots that are out there fighting, I appreciate it. But the fact is, what we got going on right now is a nation that has walked away so far from God, that is facing a flood of political bullshit from bureaucrats in D.C. and lack of leadership in localities and state leaders that has lost their way and lost their mind. We would have never shut down America. We would have never shut down who we are over a damn flu. Now, recently, people may not know it, and the reason why I haven't addressed it, my father, he got diagnosed with COVID-19, and he fought that son of a bitch, and he's back healthy. Now, that kind of lets me know the Rutledge blood goes deep. We don't bow down. We step up and face the danger. We face the consequences. We go into the dark, and we gonna make sure we burn that match on bright. But looking at what we got going on right now, looking at the past should have prepared us for this crap. But with all the smoke and mirrors that Democrats have gave out, people was blinded by their agenda. Pitch phrases of better health care, Social Security being protected, people having a better wage, people being used for political pawns, a gamemanship at the ballot box. We have too many career politicians that don't understand America because they haven't sat down with America in the longest kind of time because everybody been writing their scripts, and that's exactly what we got is puppets. We have to look deep into our soul. We have to look deep into our bodies and our backbone and in our minds to say exactly enough is enough. I know they came out with this mail-in voting. I know they are looking at cheating and doing whatever they got to do to keep in power. They looked at Virginia as the model. What they can get accomplished when they have both houses and the governor's mansion. Imagine them having the House and Senate and the presidency in D.C. The fact is, this is how people want to live their life. That's up to you, but go to another fucking country. Because America doesn't play this type of crap. The citizens of the Commonwealth don't play this type of crap. That's why they're going after our ability to fight back. In WACO, you saw exactly what happens when you mess with kids of God. They fight back. But too bad that when you have the devil in the playbook calling the strategy and calling the plans, when they can't get what they want, they burn you down. That's the price that you pay for your faith. That's the price I pay every single day. And I know my last measure of devotion is going to be fighting for Republicans, conservatives, those who are looking for leadership that is not going to break their pockets, but make sure they break the barriers and the concrete that is being built up and overlap there in D.C. and Washington, and won't bend over for politics or special interests, or for those monsters that's still walking around looking at the next person to kill. Not a way for the country to reopen and heal. We are in the battle right now. The war is being plotted. It's being plotted against Americans. And Democrats don't understand you are voting for your own death. There's no kind of way that you can't understand the common sense that is going on here now. This has been in the playbooks for decades. Now you're seeing it at top level from the very people that you voted in, that you thought was there for you. If this is the way that you want to have to be controlled, that's not living. That's you being on your knees to the glass dick that they are offering you. I'm sorry I have to get straight to the point like that, because they ain't listening to the nice little fancy language that's coming out of these politicians' mouths. They looking for a real American running for governor that understands exactly what people are going through. How overreaching of governments is the next thing called current and modern Jim Crow laws on everybody. This is what Jim Crow wrote. This is what Democrats want. There's no kind of civil rights leader that can say they're in line with the Democratic Party and still consider them about civil rights to this day. But the fact is, if we don't act now, we don't answer now, we don't start getting ready, stop worrying about the gimmicks, stop worrying about the career politicians that look good on TV, start putting your focus and putting your money and putting your bets on somebody who you already know will not tolerate this bullshit, not going to excuse Governor Northam's type of way of doing business, not going to bow down to Democrats and their agenda by blackmailing America. They put us under hostage situations. We are basically a modern day Iraq right now. There's no other way to say it. But I'm telling America, we have a chance to change this all up. Virginia, we have a chance to set the tone all across America that the Patriots is back. But we keep doing what we've been doing, being blinded by politicians, being misled, hoodwinked, and bamboozled by those who cover them up, just like the DMV, and they learned the hard way. This is what we will get in return. Right now, we need a no longer business as usual Republican. We need a not so typical one. We need one that's going to be a pit bull in the face of these monsters. We need a wolf to them Democratic sheep. And we need somebody who's going to not only be on one side of the railroad tracks, they're going to be on the other side of the railroad tracks, letting people know that you're no longer blinded. Now you know the truth. This is what they are about. They're about killing American citizens for their own agenda. That's how far they will go to get what they want and achieve. And it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with millionaires and billionaires that are faking the funk. Nothing wrong with wealth, but there's something fucking wrong with you trying to tell everybody else that they are limited and their pursuit of opportunity and happiness is based off of what the government tells them they can be. At this time frame, that Republican is me. You can check my background. You can check all the negative news. I love bad press as much as I love good press. Because they'll tell you, that's SOB, Merle Rutledge, have been fighting these animals and didn't need a public official status or public servant title to get it done. I have seen monsters from the school board to local governments to state governments and all the way up into D.C. And I've stood there and told each and every single one that have been doing the American people wrong to go fuck themselves. And I'm going to figure out any kind of way I can get the job done to make sure that's the last time you do it again. We have had too many leaders that have been silenced, suppressed, and those who have been made to look what they are not because of the liberal media. Back in the day, I thought WACO, like many of you, we all thought what we saw in the newspapers and the headlines was crazy people who just got slaughtered and just killed themselves. That's what the government is capable of. That type of government. The government we got now will probably burn down our houses with our kids, with our wife and everything else in it. Just so they could cover up the mess of their transgressions at Americans' expense. That was an act of terrorism by an American president on American soul. What we got nationwide is acts of terrorism by Democratic governors on American soul. So, Patriots, I'm going to ask you on this one. Think long and hard about how your future is going to be. American citizens, those who work hard, those who just want to provide for family and be left alone. You have drones flying over telling you to stay in your damn house. You have police arresting you for playing in the park with your own kid. This is the America you want. Merle Rutledge would never tolerate anything like that. And if a son of a bitch from a police station or from a sheriff's office decide to pull that off, I guarantee you we will be shutting that son of a bitch down. America should have been reopened. We have fought bigger and badder animals, monsters, terrorists, and diseases, and we have came out on top because God has always shown America the glory when we walk in his will. Now we have governors signing off for people who identify one way to walk into your bathroom and in your privacy and put your kids in danger with pedophiles. We have them releasing criminals and animals to go ahead and hunt down American citizens. That's why I fight so hard for everybody. I don't care what race you are, what background you are, or whatever. If this is the time to suspend some felons here that been law-abiding for a certain amount of years to give them the right to firearms, this is ever the time to do it, because I would be giving out the executive order. If I'm going to release criminals and animals, I'm going to damn sure know America can check them. We shouldn't have more victims and predators, because that's what we are about to be outnumbered. We have illegals all over this country influencing our elections now, with a Democratic Party sponsoring and incentivizing them to do so, taking away American spirit and pride. After a while, the American flag ain't going to be the American flag if we let this happen. Your story, my story, everybody's story was made here in America, and damn well it should be preserved. That's why they're trying to take away the monuments. People keep talking about the Confederate flag, whatever. The fact is, they go after that flag, they gonna go after yours. This is the precedence of what you're seeing is the revamping, the gentrification of American citizens and the genocide of them by government-sponsored agents working with foreign agents. I have never seen China buy up so much property that America wasn't willing to sell for pennies on the dollar all over the country. This China-owned business buying this, buying that. But would it have been sold had this not happened? Look at all of this stuff that's going on, America, around you. And they ain't broadcasting it. They just putting out little headlines and hoping it fades away just to say they published it. But they hope people don't pay attention. The fact is, the Democratic Party should be charged with colluding and acts of treason for working with a foreign government to take over America. But the only reason why they're being protected is because we have a soft backbones of Republicans all across this country in certain areas, not all of them, that won't stand up and step up to this crap that's going on. Because they are paid by the same special interest groups, the same foreign agents from other countries that the Democrats is paid for. Now's the time for America and to be on a board with following the money so we can get this swamp drained and walk a mud puddle dry and dry that son of a bitch down. America, this ain't the time to fall asleep. This is the time to wake up and say, what kind of leadership do you want? If you send a career politician back, all we doing is asking for the same results. But if you send somebody who doesn't fit the bill of other politicians, doesn't talk like politicians because he doesn't know their language, doesn't know how to be a politician. He only knows how to be a patriot and make sure that any cover-up or any BS that's going to be on America's back and we have to pay for it, not just by money, but by our freedoms. Be damned if that ain't going to be done without Merle Rutledge fighting against it. So, this is my message. This is why I'm pissed off. Because the only reason why the devil would be attacking me like this from different directions like this is because he knows I'm the one to make sure I kick his ass because he knows God is protecting me. And like I was going to say this one more time, God is good all the time. And to America, to Virginia, we are going to take our country back.